This is the kickoff meeting for the statewide flood hazard mitigation plan update. I am Jamie Ranke. I'm the Division Manager of Floodplain Management here at the Department of Water, Energy, and Environment. And in a few minutes, we'll introduce the rest of the team. The staff members from the Nebraska Floodplain Management team that are helping with this plan update include myself and a group that's on the line. I'll have them introduce themselves. Stefan is not here, but he is primarily doing the risk assessment piece. So when we get to that part of the project, if anyone has questions, he'll be available to answer those. And with that, we'll go around the group so that you all can see who's here from our team. Elijah, you can go ahead.
Sure. Thanks, Jamie. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I'm Elijah Kaufman. I am the State National Flood Insurance Program, or State NFIP Coordinator here in the Floodplain Management Division, and excited to work on this project. Erin?
Hello, yes. Hi, my name is Erin Wendt. I am one of the outreach coordinators for the Floodplain Management Division here. I'm also very excited to be working on this project.
I'm Isabel Bialis, an NFIP specialist for the Floodplain Management Division team. Also working on this project, excited to get it going.
And hello, I think everybody's familiar with me. I'm Michelle York, and I'm the administrative assistant to help out the Floodplain Management Division and your main point of contact in regards to comments, questions, or concerns.
So your input to this project is critical. This is a state plan and is supposed to be representative of more than just the Floodplain Management Division at DWE. So we tried to include all of the different agencies that were included in the hazard mitigation plan update that is managed by NEMA. And you can see, I'm not going to read the list, but you can see the list of other entities that were invited to be part of this process. It's a pretty wide range of people. We have emergency managers, natural resources districts, federal partners, state agencies, and of course, our floodplain administrators that are dealing with flood and flood concerns every day. If there are any agencies or individuals that should be involved that may not be, please let us know. We can add anyone to this list that makes sense. We just want to make sure that we get as comprehensive of a group as possible so that we can get everything adequately addressed for a statewide plan update. Our agenda today, again, it's not going to take the full hour. We'll go through just quickly the plan purpose development process, our plan for how we're going to go through the different sections for review and comment and updating, and then what input we're looking for and how your agency or a jurisdiction could benefit from the plan. And then we'll go through the next steps of the project. This is the kickoff. So we're at the early stage of the update, and we'll go through what the rest of the update will look like through completion. So as many of you are probably familiar, most hazard mitigation plans have to be updated every 5 years. And this is an update from the 2022 State Flood Hazard Mitigation Plan. So we're building off of that effort on this particular update. We aren't at the full 5 years. FEMA has requested that we update the plan to get it more in line with the schedule for the state hazard mitigation plan update, which was just approved. So we initiated this update a little early so that we can get things better aligned in the future. This update is a little different than the 2019. It had 2019, which would result in the 2022 plan, was enacted through legislation, and we had a lot of different requirements that we had to meet and a lot of different people that had to be involved in the planning effort. So this will be a little less comprehensive of an update and a smaller planning committee than we had last time, but the goals remain very similar. We want to make sure that we have the best understanding of flood risk in the state. And this update will focus on a couple areas that maybe we didn't have as much information last time as we would have liked. for instance, the critical facilities inventory. We're not pulling that layer from the local plans. We are pulling it from state databases and some sources that we have here, but we want to make sure that we get specifically utilities, emergency response locations that need to remain operational in the event of a flood, fire stations, evacuation areas, things like that. So it won't include everything that's in the local plan because each jurisdiction can, of course, choose their own critical facilities in the local plans. So we'll be focusing just on the things that are important for a statewide effort. The mitigation projects and funding opportunities, we will be updating that section. I threw this into the slides because there are a lot of question marks on what that funding will look like through some of the different programs. So we don't know exactly what the updates will look like at this point, but it is something that is likely going to look a little bit different than the 2022 plan. And then the piece that I'm really excited about, not that I'm not excited about the entire plan update, but the last time there were some pretty big limitations in what we could do with the risk assessment. And this time we are conducting that analysis in-house and have a pretty good understanding of what we can do and what we can't do. So I am excited to be able to continue to update that risk assessment as we get mapping done throughout the state. This plan, like all plans, is supposed to be an opportunity for the local hazard mitigation planning efforts to be able to pull information from it. So we want to make sure that we're accurately representing all of the items that need to be covered in the local plans. And then, of course, with the research that we'll be doing into the different mitigation options, we're hoping that we can position communities and different entities to be able to obtain that future funding for mitigation projects. The planning committee, which is all of you on the call and the people who were on the call this morning, it was formed by the Floodplain Management Division. You all would have received an email invitation to this group. We tried to keep it more limited than the last time because we don't have that mandate for who had to be included. So it's a more focused stakeholder group to limit how much is going into it and also just like how many people were waiting to get comments back from. You will, after today's kickoff meeting, start receiving project updates. Those will happen on a quarterly basis. They'll follow the same timeline that all of our FEMA and mapping projects follow. And during those updates, we should be providing kind of a glimpse into the future so that you can know what will be coming your way for review in the following months or in the following quarter. So we should have a list of the different sections that we anticipate sending out for comments, and we're hoping that we can get those turned around fairly quickly. I think the last plan update, we had asked for 2 weeks as the turnaround time. We should have a little bit of wiggle room in our schedule. So if we need to extend that, we can certainly have that conversation as we get into it. We only scheduled to have this meeting and one other. So the next meeting will occur after we've gone through all of the section review and comment and after we've compiled that draft plan so we can present the draft plan to the group and talk through any remaining comments or concerns that anyone has. So your role in this, you are the subject matter experts for the different groups that you represent. You may not have an interest in every section that we send to you for review, but don't lose interest if you are looking through a section that maybe doesn't apply to what you work on in the everyday life. Any input that we get is better than none at all. So we're going to send every section out. And of course, you may have more comments on some sections, more interest in some sections than others, but please feel free to provide input on any and every section if you are able to. If you aren't the right person to be providing input, you can let us know in chat or email, give us a phone call, and let us know who would be a good representative for you or your agency so that we can make sure that we get them added to the list for distribution and they can provide their comments as well. We can always add people to the group, so never hesitate to reach out. Again, this is a statewide effort, so we want to make sure that all of the agencies and jurisdictions have an opportunity to review and provide comments. So we're trying to get statewide representation of flood hazards, risks, and information, and your participation is critical to that. We covered a little bit about how this can be mutually beneficial. Not only can you share ideas that maybe we haven't thought of that can be included in this plan, but also pieces of this plan can be used for local planning efforts. And also the mitigation and project pages are very helpful for local jurisdictions that are looking at pursuing mitigation grant opportunities. So really what we're looking for at the end of the day is just a collaborative effort where you are willing to review the sections that are sent to you and provide us with any comments or ideas that you have. When we are ready for plan documents to be reviewed, we will post them on the Nebraska Flood Hazard Mitigation Plan website, which is shown on screen and can be thrown into the chat. We will also send them out through email. The 2022 plan that was approved is currently available, so you can look through any of the sections just to see if there's any information that's missing. If you've gone through a plan update recently that maybe was not including or included some information post September 30th, 2021, which was the cutoff date for the data in the 2022 plan. You can provide written comments through email to Michelle, and her email address is listed. The sections are going to be emailed as they're ready for review. Again, we'll be providing a quarterly update, and in that quarterly update should have a list of the different sections that we're anticipating will come in the next quarter so that you have a little bit of a heads up of what will be coming next. And we encourage you to review and share any of those sections with anyone that might have some input into the plan. And we will accept those comments for 2 weeks after the draft sections are distributed. Again, we can accept comments after that, but there will be a point in time where we get far enough into the planning process that we won't be able to incorporate comments. So just try to get them back to us as timely as possible. And then once we have all of the comments and have gone through everything and made the necessary changes to the plan, we'll compile everything into a draft plan and upload it onto the website so that we can host the last meeting to go through the draft plan and make sure that everything looks ready for submittal to FEMA for approval. So what we are hoping that this project provides is the template consistency for local plans, revealing any funding opportunities. We know that the state plan often informs what's required in local plans. So for the local plans to be a success, we need to make sure that we have a comprehensive coverage in the state plan so that there aren't things in the local plan that aren't covered in the state plan, and we limit the ability to get funding in certain areas. This plan is important. I think we all know that flooding is a major cost to the state, to the country. It's the #1 disaster in Nebraska, and it is one of the top concerns for locals when we've done polls in the past. This plan will also serve as the flood section in the state hazard mitigation plan. Again, that plan was updated and approved by FEMA in January. And when we finish this, it will replace what's in the plan right now, which I think it's just a small section on flood, and this will serve as that section once it's approved by FEMA. So what we're looking for, again, our cutoff in the 2022 plan was September 30th of 2021. So if you have any data that would be helpful to the study team, we would sure appreciate you sharing it with us, whether that is risk assessment information, or if you have photos or information related to flood events other than 2019. We have a pretty comprehensive list of information from 2019, but we have had a few flood events since then. So if anyone has information related to any more recent floods, or even if there's information for flood events prior to 2019, that would be helpful. Any anecdotal evidence can be helpful as well, meaning that it doesn't necessarily have to be something that was published in a newspaper or made, some headline. It can be something that is just records in your office or write-ups that you have on different events that happened or how your community or agency was impacted. We've kind of gone through how it can be beneficial to the different groups on the call. And then we also would be happy to offer the opportunity to talk with the team about any additional items that you have an interest in talking through. If it's easier for you to have a one-on-one discussion with someone from our team, we can certainly schedule something. Just reach out to anyone on the team and we can get that scheduled and hopefully get you the information that you need and start that data sharing. Know that we will be reaching out periodically to gather that additional information from you. You will hear from us at minimum quarterly, but as we're getting into the section reviews, you may be hearing from us more often than that. Our next steps, you can visit the website to access the online meeting and more information. This webinar recording will be posted there. We will also have access to the slides and they will be distributed after the meeting. That'll be kind of the one-stop shop for anything related to this plan update. But again, you'll be getting a lot of that communication through email. So make sure that you have it set so that you get the emails from us and they're not going to junk or blocked. And communication from us today, of course, is the kickoff meeting. After this meeting, we will start distributing the project updates every quarter, as I've talked about. And then when we get through sections, we will start distributing them to the group for review and comments. Of course, we are always here to answer questions or collect information. You can send emails to us, you can call us, but please don't hesitate to reach out to anyone on the team. We are happy to help and happy to do whatever it is that we can to make this plan update successful for the state. Okay, so this is the different social media sites we have. We're probably not going to do a ton of outreach on social media for the plan update, but we always throw a tag in there. Okay, that is all that we have for today. So if anyone wants to stick around and ask questions, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you are free to go back to your day. Thank you so much for attending. We appreciate your input in this project and look forward to working with you throughout the plan update.